this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now, this time we're going to be looking into the 9th episode of Season 5 of The Muppet Show, which features Debbie Harry. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Debbie Harry, she is known to be the lead singer of the new wave group Blondie. And with Blondie, they have actually done a lot of hit singles, including Call Me, Rapture, Heart of Glass, and many more. During the 80s, they decided to break up, and Debbie Harry decided to go onto a career appearing in numerous of films and TV shows. But then the 90s came along, and they decided to regroup together, and to this day, Blondie is actually still making records and albums, believe it or not. And going into the episode of The Muppet Show that Debbie Harry actually appeared in, I have to say that, you know, it's funny, it's cute, it's a relatively good episode, I must say. Like, nothing really that stands out, but I really did like it, I appreciate it. And I would have to say it's more because of the plot line that's going on backstage, and in there, it's mostly about Robin's, scout group, which is the Frog Scouts, and they decided to come in and, just be a part of, Backstage, just visiting Uncle Kermit, and they mostly decided to go on that day to visit Kermit because Debbie Harry is there, and, you know, they are actually fans of Debbie Harry, and, they just want to hang out with, a rock star, basically. And throughout most of the time, you just see them get excited around, acting a bit like scouts and mostly excited kids backstage in a theater. And a lot of the reactions you would kind of expect from them, but a lot of them do result in some funny gags at the same time. Like, there was at one point when, after a funny little Pigs in Space bit, you see Link Hogthrob just completely dizzy, and just, in a snap, they just go out and help him on first aid. And then there was another time that they actually went into Debbie Harry's dressing room, and they all dressed themselves up as, little punk rock frogs, and even Robin just had, a little tuft of pink hair on top of him. And yes, they do have a counselor with them, Mrs. Appleby, and, she's just joining along for the ride. She's just, the ringleader of the crazy little frogs that are just backstage and acting simultaneously like excited fans and scouts. So, yeah, honestly, we do have, cute little bits coming in there. And then there was at one point that they decided to go and do a little number where there was at one point they did a little military march going around just to replace Gonzo's bit. And that actually does connect with what's going on. The reason why the Scouts actually did have a little number on the show was because Gonzo was supposed to be wrestling with a gorilla, but apparently he was late. And during that time, the gorilla actually did appear, but the cadets and the Scouts, they just didn't notice him, so they ended up just walking all over him, which was, it did add a little bit of extra Muppet-style humor into it, which really was cute. And there have been some other numbers that I want to mention before I actually do get into Debbie Harry. It actually started out with For Me and My Gal, which the whole thing was themed into Hunchback of Notre Dame. And it was the first time that we actually see the Muppet called Mulch, which he would later be a more prominent Muppet. Beforehand, he was supposed to be kind of like a Muppet take on Quasimodo from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but even in here, they actually do call him Mulch. He would be much more of an important character in Muppets Tonight, where he would be the assistant of the Doctor, if I may double check on his name. He would be the assistant and brother-in-law of Dr. Phil Van Neuter. And then there was another bit, which, honestly, it was kind of slow, and it's kind of the weakest bit, which was called Forgiven, about a little girl who lost her bug, and then she refound her bug, which, the only thing that really does stand out is how the bug, is just Like, when you actually do see him, he's like freaking gigantic as hell. So how she ended up losing that bug, I have no idea. It shouldn't be that hard to find. And other than that, I think that's most of the other stuff that I mentioned. And then you do have the aspects of Debbie Harry, which the elements with her is actually quite interesting. She would actually start out by singing One Way or Another, where, like, she's saying, like, oh, she wants to go and catch someone. And, like, she would open, like, inside, the whole theme is, like, there are several doors, and she would open up, and, like, there are a variety of different, like, threats and different Muppets that would appear here, like, different Muppet monsters, Tiger, and, also Mulch coming back in this number once again, which they actually did mention. It's like, wait, Mulch, why are you here? Like, you're already in the opening number. And then there was the finale, which is Call Me, which is one of the Blondie songs. And, like, you do have this entire punk theme that's been going on. But I would have to say the most interesting number that Debbie Harry actually did in this episode was the Rainbow Connection. Now, it did happen a couple of times before in the series where they actually mentioned small elements from the Muppet movie, but this is actually the first time where Kermit and a special guest star, or just the first time in general, that they would actually bring up the Rainbow Connection. Which is actually quite interesting, considering how the Rainbow Connection nowadays is considered one of the most popular and one of the most beloved songs sung by the Muppets. So, you know, like, it is pretty obvious that eventually that they would sing this song in the Muppet Show, considering that they already did Being Green twice. But yeah, it is actually pretty nice that they did sing Rainbow Connection. Singing it with a punk rock singer, that was a little bit unexpected, I would have to say. Nah, but anyways, I would have to say that overall with this episode, I generally liked it. It was actually very cute. The Frog Scouts actually did bring in some nice little humor. Nothing too extravagant that's going on. The special guest star was pretty good. And, you know, it's more of your standard episode, but you know, it's a very enjoyable episode. It's actually a lot of fun to watch. It has its cute moments and its funny moments. So generally, I really did like it. But anyways, that is pretty much it for this episode of the Muppet Vlog. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. And we shall see next time what other crazy shenanigans the Frog Scouts might be pulling up for the next episode. Or whatever the special guest star might end up singing with Kermit. But we will only know until next time, so see you later, dudes!